fact there's still no building.
Because everybody moves together, you can't really stress where you go because where you end up is dependent on what the last person wrote. So the films had a beginning and end. They were completely linear, and all you wanted to do was roll enough spaces to get to the finish line, which just isn't that fun. I liked exploring the boards in the original game, making it to an item shop before friends did, strategically waiting around a certain area. This just feels like the goal is to get the game over with. At least the minigames were fine. That's a saving grace of everybody.
Yeah, I think I've already accepted your invite, so just give me a second. The game's just loading. Helicopter, helicopter.
Definitely better than Giant Style, but God, this is great. Everything's just overly simple and bland.
That's cool.
But at least with Mario Party 10, they had a chance to redeem themselves. It's the fucking car again.
It was your Pokemon card, but now it's my Pokemon card, because I found it.
They could have improved things, but no, it's the same. There's a special mode called Bowser Party, which allows one player to beat Bowser on the Wii U.
You are a turtle.
They're actively trying to hunt down the others and beat them. But this mode only has like 10 minigames to play, which gets old quick. Mario Party Star Rush on the 3DS was next. What?
I just own both because I had the cash. I own like 2 houses and multiple garages. You just gotta get like enough money, really. Why is this?
1v1 me, you bot turtle boy.
There you go. Hey, shit, my camera's fitting to that. Let me read my chat. Anthony, Jesus Christ, you're alive. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. Man ignored my message on Instagram like ages ago. Oh wait, Pro's online as well. Let's go. I wonder if Pro's got GTA.
Thankfully, Super Mario Party came out for the Nintendo Switch, and as a step in the right direction, it goes back to the
right,
original games, but there's only
let me just hop in my car wherever that is.
You suck, Big Egg.
And are based on a grid, which makes them super bland. I mean, they're doing better than they have.
Mega Egg.
Probably.
Never trust a man who prefers Super to 6. The thing is, though, most of these were negative changes. Developers that didn't really know how to recapture the magic of the original games.
Yeah, you are. I know where you are.
Sonic Mania. Fans from 3 different studios coming together.
H.
Sonic game
H.
better than the originals. And Metroid Prime. Retro Studios bringing the series
H.
in 3D in one of the
H.
most critically acclaimed games of all time.
I'm driving over to where I put my marker to where it says you are for me.
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Friends, other.
Number 2 rocks. This thing is so versatile.
I'm driving over, hang on.
Here and still produce mediocrity. Sequels are basically a necessity with video games. I mean, I let all those character models, sprites, or that game engine go to
I've got more. I've got like 4. What do you mean?
Making a video game sequel most of the time is being relatively resourceful, and that's why they get pumped.
Yeah, I don't think you've looked around the whole map because you've got to think there's the garages with the houses, and then there's the garages that are just garages. Meanwhile, Archie's out here camping in his garage. He sleeps in his cars. I tried to mostly think of sequels that aren't necessarily a complete shoe-in, with some sequels likely, some unlikely, and some that make me look like an effing moron. And like I said, these are just sequels I'd personally want to see. Feel free to discuss ones you'd want, but this is all about me. These were a bit harder than you may think to dream up, mainly because a lot of the biggest video game sequels that are taking forever to happen
When you get the cash, you just buy one. Plus, we could just if we get the right car, we'll just go rob some. We'll go rob some stores. We'll just hop in one of my cars and we'll go rob some shops.
Hey guys, it's Scott checking in. I just wanted to say before we get into all these sequels I want to see, that this isn't a definitive list of all sequels I want to see. I'm sure anybody could say, why didn't you bring up a sequel to Wario World? And I'll be like, I forgot Wario World! This list has to end at some point, so let me just mention some games I still want to see, just don't have time to discuss all too much. Star Tropics 3, a new custom Robo, a new skate game, Grand Theft Auto Advance 2, Mega Man Legends 4, Super Smash Bros. Brawl 2. Anyway, here are some games I'd like to see too.
One second, I'm just gonna pull over at the casino, get my daily spin out of the way.
Battle Royale, outside of being just one of the worst lineup of words I've ever seen in my life, was Sony's answer to Smash Brothers, and it was the wrong answer. Here's the thing, though. I want a sequel to this game based purely on the fact that this isn't a bad idea, far from it. Sony's had a terrible history of making their version of a Nintendo thing and just not putting enough effort into it. The PlayStation Classic, the PlayStation Move, Little Big Planet karting all just feel like half-assed attempts to do something Nintendo did successfully. And with all of these, especially All-Stars Battle Royale, they all flopped. They all felt soulless, and the thing was they didn't need to be. A PlayStation crossover fighting game could be amazing. They just need to treat it with the same
Luxury car, do you mean I'm not as dead as anything? I could make it look luxury.
Felt like a momentous occasion, with a character being in it, solidifying them in as true gaming icons. Leave a goals on PlayStation All-Stars. For a PlayStation All-Stars sequel, they need to get a better character lineup. The ones they had were fine, but the lack of PlayStation icons like Crash and Spyro would be like Smash Brothers not including Link and Kirby. It needs better gameplay and ideas. It just felt like they copied Smash Brothers, but
40k? Come on! Oh, so yeah, I just won 40k. That's 40,000 to spend on more cars, probably.
PlayStation All-Stars sequel called PlayStation All-Stars Island, a minigame collection for mobile devices, brought to you by Coke Zero. Well, that's one thing Smash Brothers doesn't have. What it means to be a Sonic game isn't the most clear-cut thing in the world, since the mainline Sonic the Hedgehog titles vary so much in terms of style. Classic, the adventure titles, the boost formula, Knuckles Chaotix, it's all over the place.
Evening, Archie.
Classic Sonic with Sonic Mania, the boost formula with Sonic Forces, and then whatever the hell Sonic Lost World is. I'd really like to see some of the other styles of Sonic games throughout history get brought back. A good chunk of them had merit and would be fun to see again. With proprietary handheld systems fading away, there's been one type of Sonic title that hasn't made an appearance for almost a decade, and that's the Sonic Advance /
I just made it
Rush style
disappear.
games.
Anyways, let me call in a...
What
What
the
hell? Anyways,
I'd love to
let's
see a
just
successor
call in a
to these
call.
games. I'm not saying something like Sonic Mania isn't phenomenal, but these games were different enough from the classics to warrant being brought back. I think seeing a new Sonic Rush thrown onto the Switch eShop would be
disappear.
really fun, with a 2D hand-drawn art style, crazy fluid animation. I love that. Of course, you can't talk Sonic. Well, I'm not a huge
Valet, so basically your car is now parked up in a garage.
Most of the problems I have with the adventure titles are just due to them not aging.
Oh hang on, my car has just arrived. Let me see what car I've just what car I've just called in. Ah, I've called in Big Black Muscly.
As anybody born in the year 1997 would do, I played Pac-Man World 2 as a kid. This wasn't a groundbreaking game by any means, but
is it black?
Really great job at transitioning
So hard to tell.
This is into a 3D platformer. It didn't feel like a generic 3D platformer with Pac-Man squirted into it. It felt like if Pac-Man was a 3D platformer. I really
Alright.
Now, with the Pac-Man World Series in general, I went straight down the middle. Didn't play 1, didn't play 3. From what I hear, Pac-Man World 1 was pretty good, and 3 was a pretty divisive follow-up. It took a different direction with the tone and formula, and only turned out the best. Now, there have been some fairly recent Pac-Man 3D platformers, the Ghostly Adventures games based on some TV show. But unlike Pac-Man World 2, these do feel like generic 3D platformers with Pac-Man.
I might go change the colour on this again, yeah.
I'd like to see another
Change it back to
3D
pink.
platformer with this Pac-Man. No pupils and all. No TV show tie-in, nothing weird like the third game, just a fun 3D platformer in the same vein as World 2. A true Pac-Man World 4.
Actually, I even want this. Okay, let me...
Out of all the potential sequels on this list, Conker's Bad Fur Day just begs for one. Bad Fur Day was the Nintendo 64 swan song and got a remake on the original Xbox, and that's it. It's 2019 now. Wow.
Let me just rob a car and I'll go pick up one of my own.
platformers. It went 8 letters down the alphabet and went full-on M-rated with lots of fun blood and piss. The developers at Rare were obviously making the game for themselves and not for the general Nintendo 64 owner.
Let's just
It obviously
go
didn't sell
there
well,
and go
but
pick
was
up a
always destined
car.
to be a cult classic. The ending of Bad Fur Day feels definitive enough, but does hint at a future game. And a sequel called Conker's Other Bad Day was planned, but was given the boot after Microsoft acquired Rare. After that, another game, Conker Getting Medieval, was planned, but scrapped as well. And the only thing released that progressed Bad Fur Day's plot was some episodic DLC for Project Spark. That was cancelled after Episode 1. Project Spark was a game creation tool, and the Conker DLC was created within it. I think it's fair to say this really wasn't how anybody wanted to see Conker evolve. Oh, go I spoke too soon. Yeah, Conker is just...
What the fuck? Don't flip!
Been subjected to tech demos and reliving Bad Fur Day again, and a true sequel that continues the story of Bad Fur Day is really what everybody wants to see. There's not much more I can say, just a new Conker game that continued where Bad Fur Day left off. That's it. Every single E3, Ubisoft's press conference.
I'm currently driving to one of my apartments to go pick up a car.
Alright, I quite like Rayman Origins and Legends. I wasn't like out of this world in love with them like other people, but I will happily say I quite enjoyed my time with both titles. I even really dug the mobile Rayman games. Rayman Jungle Run was one of the best platforms on mobile. I just love to see more of these games. They're so beautifully creative. Seeing a Rayman Legends 2 or whatever you want to call it.
Sure, I mean, get cash from it. So, let me just grab a car first. So. Alright, don't forget to invite me.
Now, Rayman Origins came out around the height of the return of the 2D platformer. We've been seeing a resurgence in 3D platformers lately, so maybe a new 3D Rayman isn't totally out of the question. Either way, I like a new game in general. Bully has never been one of Rockstar's bigger games, but it's a beloved one nonetheless. It's always been odd to me that this game didn't become a series like other Rockstar titles did. Think about it, if Manhunt can become a series, you can accomplish anything. It's not like Rockstar wants to try and forget this game exists. It gladly put it out on mobile devices and PS4, and a sequel to it has been one of the longest-running rumors surrounding the company. And with Bully being a T-rated game, a sequel would be a nice change of pace from all of that this Rockstar has been putting out for the past 10 years. Alright, bear with me on this one, because I only just started playing it, but Okami is really something special. I've been with it for a few hours so far, but from what I've played, this is what you call a wolf game. That's right, I said it. We got a wolf quest. Every single second I've played has filled me with so much joy. It's really similar to the Wind Waker, but it's all about the beauty of Japanese culture, history, art, everything. Now, a sequel was released for the Nintendo DS, Okami Den. Like I said, I'm still making my way through the first one. With how much people adore Okami, I would love to see a new title in the series. Capcom has been spreading Okami HD around to all current-gen platforms, so that at least shows they want people to continue playing this game. Hopefully that means a third game is still a possibility. Mario RPGs have incredibly dedicated fan bases, especially considering how all of the Mario RPG series out there are either dead, or please die. Alright, Paper Mario Color Splash was okay, but really it was only saved by its writing and presentation. Mario and Luigi games used to be special, but now they just seem to be filler titles for when Nintendo needs to put out a game with Mario on the cover. But then, there's the grandfather of them all. Super Mario RPG, developed by Square with the Super Nintendo. I feel that the Paper Mario series has definitely overshadowed the original Mario RPG in terms of pure love from fans, but it's still a beloved title and many's favorite Mario RPG title. The original Paper Mario on N64 was actually initially planned as a sequel to Super Mario RPG until it became its own thing entirely. So while you can make the argument that Paper Mario is Mario RPG sequel, it's still kind of its own entity. I think a true sequel to Mario RPG would be mind-blowing, and with Nintendo and Square Enix playing nice with each other, seeing a full-blown sequel to the original game isn't completely impossible. Imagine Mario RPG 2 being done by the same team behind Octopath Traveler. Now that would be something to see. I'm not even an RPG guy, I would love to see this. We can't forget about Paper Mario though. I think what most people would love to see is obviously a follow-up to Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door. The original Paper Mario and its sequel are treasured as the deity of paper-based Mario RPGs. And while some people still
Archie,
love
where are
the
you?
Super Paper Mario, it's definitely more of a mixed bag.
Archie, you didn't invite me to the mission.
With RPG elements. And And then this happened, and like I said, Color Splash was okay. Sticker Star and Color Splash, well, still
I'm just driving around in my Luigi go-kart by myself now.
I think what everybody would like to see would be a third game in the style of the first two Paper Marios. Basically, the 1,000-Year Door 2. Kid Icarus Uprising is one of the most I wanted to in the Solar Semi, the European copy game I've ever not played. For me, I'm dying to. The Kid Icarus series only saw 2 titles and then lay dormant for over 20 years until Uprising's release. It was directed by Smash Bros. Creator Masahiro Sakurai, and the same hefty attention to detail and wealth of content you find in those games was present in Uprising. The gameplay was pretty different from the first 2 games, being a third-person shooter, more sentiment than traditional Kid Icarus. Regardless, it is almost all of the titles Valve have previously released were in sequels, and of course, this is the obvious. I'm not gonna act like I'm everybody's resident Half-Life expert. I've played a little bit of 2, but not much. With the last we've seen of the Half-Life series being a cliffhanger, we just need a finale to it all. Just finish it up. Will it ever happen? I don't know. I'm fairly optimistic about it eventually happening, but I'm not saying it's super likely anytime soon. I just want to see Half-Life 3 announced because it would truly be one of the biggest days in gaming history. Just reading the history of Half-Life 3 not being announced is entertaining. Imagine it actually happening. Now a game I'm more personally invested in is Portal.
I think it's like this guy that you can do car work for.
They can make 34 Portal games, and the 35th one would still impress me.
Wait, are you at the wait? Oh, wait, you're not even in my game. I'll say you invite to my game, and then we'll both go to the S just so we see what it is.
The NES Remix games on Wii U were great. Just quick challenges on old school NES games.
Let me just invite you to my game.
Art style, characters, physics, all that. I really like these games because they took some NES games that aged poorly and made them legitimately fun by chopping them up into tons of challenges. Or they took NES games that actually aged well and made them fun in a whole new way. They made 2 of them, and these just feel like perfect gap fillers. Like if Nintendo isn't releasing anything one month, just throw out a remix title. They're fun pick up and play games, and they don't take too awful long to develop.
Oh, I won't even invite you, the hell.
Console variations of them. SNES
Just invite me to a private lobby.
I just want to see more of these remix style games.
And then we'll go over to what's the name. We'll go to the S.
Alright, okay, Duke Nukem 3D could be considered a landmark title, but other than
Hang on,
that,
I'll make a new one and let me just go and see if we can upgrade the speed on this go-kart.
was the edgy lowbrow humor and being a pretty impressive first-person shooter with loads of things to interact with in the environment. After a bunch of side games and spin-offs, Duke Nukem Forever released in 2011 is the true sequel to 3D. And after being in development hell for over a decade, yeah, it wasn't that good. Forever didn't evolve Duke Nukem. Some fans saw that as a positive, but most people saw that as the game feeling outdated in terms of its comedy and how it looked and played. Some may say he's better left in the 90s, but I think with enough passion and wit behind the project, a true new Duke Nukem game could be pretty decent. Look at how Doom 2016 came out. That similarly is based on a legacy PC first-person shooter franchise from the 90s. Now Doom has had a much better track record than Duke Nukem, but I'm just saying, I think if the Duke Nukem team puts forth a similar effort to the Doom reboot, a new game can work really well. Mario Kart Double Dash is the most unique Mario Kart. Get out of here, Mario Kart Super Circuit supporters. What the hell kind of an argument was that? You can pick 2 characters per car, and that opens loads of gameplay possibilities, including co-op. There was really not much wrong with this style of Mario Kart, but they dropped it in favor of the way God intended Mario Kart to be, one driver and all. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is fine, but this was also fine. Now, do I need a full-on Double Dash 2? I mean, that would be cool, but at the very least, I think a Double Dash mode in the future Mario Kart would be stellar. But hey, Double Dash's concept has so much potential that I'd love to see a full-on sequel. They can just do so much more with this. Kirby, for God's sake, screw up. A good Kirby game is like a nice bowl of mac and cheese. I mean, it's probably not good for you, but it's pretty fun. That doesn't really help shake off the fact that throughout the series' entire life, Kirby has remained a 2D game. This isn't a series that straight up won't work in 3D. Other than little mini-game offshoots and experimentations that easily show, hey, this game will work just fine in 3D. I just want a 3D Kirby game, a true step forward for the franchise. And Kirby Air Ride 2, that would be pretty cool.
Anyways, let me sort out this private server then.
This isn't gonna happen. Even then, I think Earthbound/Mother is too important to people to just let... the game sit there. I think this series has potential to tell so many more stories and capture so many more hearts. Plus, these games aren't perfect. Far from it. A new game could easily refine the gameplay with little quality of life improvements here and there. Now, like I said, Mother 4 is crazy unlikely to ever happen. The series creator Shigesato Itoi has made it clear that he doesn't plan on making any new games. And of course, Mother 3 hasn't even released outside of Japan yet. That needs to happen. I'd still love a remastered collection of all 3 titles, but I think a 4th game would be jaw-dropping to see happen. Will it? Probably not, but I don't think it's impossible. This is Itoi's baby, and he doesn't really want to do anything with it, but who knows, maybe someday he'll have a change of heart. It's something more people want than you may think. Myself and countless others have had many sleepless nights where the only thing we could hear echoed in the darkness. Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort are great. They may seem like nothing more than motion control minigame collections. That's exactly what they were. But they're so much fun. These are such simple games, but they're chemically engineered to be infinitely replayable. They remind me of a good high-score-based arcade game. No matter how many times I play Galaga, I still want to keep playing it. And the same goes to you, Bowling. I think doing a
I should
new
be able
game
to
under the
invite
name
you in a
Nintendo
second,
Sports
Archie.
or Mii Sports would be awesome. I think keeping with the resort theme would be a great idea, or maybe they switch things up and go for a winter-based sports one. I don't know, I just want Nintendo to make something like this again. I don't want these casual tech games to be the only thing Nintendo makes, but if they plop out a new Wii Sports, I'd be pretty content. The Uncharted games. I played through all of them outside of Golden Abyss and the Vita and Fight for Fortune and some card games, so actually no, I guess I can't call myself a fan. Now, the series developer Naughty Dog seems to be done with the franchise and Nathan Drake's story is finished. I think maybe handing the series over to Sony's Bend Studio or something and having them make games in the Uncharted universe would be a fun time. Now, I don't need these right now, not at all. I think I've had my Uncharted fix for a while. But I'm mainly talking about in like a few years. When there hasn't been a new Uncharted game for a while, bringing back the franchise in a new way would be fun. There's so many great characters in Uncharted that you could easily make a countless number of games focusing on. I mean, they already dipped their toes in this whole no Nathan Drake Uncharted with Uncharted The Lost Legacy, so it's definitely possible. Because it's already been done. Sony generally doesn't continually support franchises for decades. Their developers usually focus on a certain series for a good number of years and then move on. I really wish they'd start supporting franchises in the long term more often. And in about 4 to 5 years, I think a new Uncharted focusing on a character other than Nathan Drake would be pretty cool. If you want a foolproof way to make me squee, here you go. Punch-Out is one of my favorite Nintendo series, no doubt, and the Wii game is so good. The problem with it, though, was that it didn't have a lot of its own ideas. It mainly used boxers from previous games, and the gameplay was basically the same Punch-Out we all knew. Years ago, I always thought this style of Punch-Out would work beautifully on the 3DS. I thought you could do some fun things with the 3D, and Punch-Out would be perfect for handheld play. Well, that never happened, and it never will, so I'd just like a new Punch-Out game with new unique boxers. Maybe a few classic ones, and maybe some new gameplay mechanics. Alright, that does it for everything I had a lot to say about. Let's fumble through some more games I really want but didn't have much to discuss. Chibi Robo 2, yes please, the series has never had a fair chance. All games Nintendo actually tried to push for garbage spin-offs. The only game that could be considered a true sequel to the original was a Japan exclusive DS title. Either localize and remaster that one and put it in a resolution that doesn't sting, or make a true Chibi Robo sequel on a console. Oh man, I would kill for a new racing game that doesn't take itself seriously and isn't a crazy simulation. I've heard Forza Horizon is a great deal of fun, but what I'm mainly talking about is the return of Ridge Racer and Burnout. I'd squeak. I have 2 fears. They're dead mice and playing Donkey Kong 64. Donkey Kong 64 is just like any human being. It's aged. However, that doesn't mean the concept of a 3D Donkey Kong should be thrown out the window entirely. I'd love to see a modern 3D DK game. Like I said, I'd like to see some new Sonic games, but man, f*** Sonic. I do enjoy a good Sonic from time to time, but my god, look at all these other games Sega could make sequels to. Jet Set Radio, Samba de Amigo, Gunstar Heroes, Night, Space Channel 5 Comic Zone, a good Super Monkey Ball game. Sega has just an absolute forest full of franchises that they haven't been doing anything with. Just please bring back some of these. Gravity Rush 3, yes please. I'm really concerned this series is dead. Sony originally was going to pull Gravity Rush 2 servers offline only a year after the game release. They delayed it by half a year after fans got antsy. That shows that Sony may not be interested in supporting Gravity Rush anymore, but that also shows they know the series has a passionate fan base, so I don't know what the future holds, but I know I want more Gravity Rush in it. A new Katamari game. Excluding the remake of the first game, we haven't had an original game on a console in so long. The last mainline title was released on the PS Vita in 2012. Nobody played it. Wario Land. Yeah, I'd love to see a new one, especially with the art style of Wario Land shaking. And on top of that, a new original WarioWare game. WarioWare Gold was pretty good, but was a best of WarioWare compilation. I want a fully original new one. A new Crimson Skies. This is a fan favorite Xbox title. Why not just bring out a new one with modern visuals? That would be gorgeous. A new James Bond game. We haven't had one in forever. I think the last one was 007 Legends in 2012. These were tons of fun. They were some of the few first-person shooters to not take themselves so seriously.
What you need, boss?
A new
Some wheels?
Mario vs.
I can bring
Donkey
'em
Kong,
around.
but now with these godforsaken mini Marios. The style of game was fun for a while, but they just keep making
I'll
the
get
same
there as
game.
soon as I can.
You see a game in the style of Donkey Kong 94 on the original Game Boy. This was an amazing puzzle platformer. The original Mario vs. Donkey Kong was basically a spiritual successor to it. I just want another one of these games. They're so good. A new Castlevania game, either one that plays similarly to Super Castlevania 4 or any of the Metroidvania type games. A new F-Zero. Yeah, that's it. Tomodachi Life 2. I love Tomodachi Life. It was such a fun game to keep coming back to for a week. But that's the thing, it was only fun for a week. The sequel needs more content and a way to spread that content out so you don't experience everything the game has to offer so quickly. Send in Punishment 3, because why not? They made the first one for the N64 in Japan only, and then made a sequel worldwide on the Wii 10 years later. Anything's possible with this series. I loved A Link Between Worlds. I would dig seeing a new game in this style. A completely original one. Yes, Link's Awakening exists for the Switch, but that's a remake.
You calling for some
It
wheels?
still uses
I'm
the same
Johnny on the
map from Link to the
spot. I'll hook you
Past.
up.
I want a top-down Zelda title that plays like this, but is completely designed from the ground up. Also, a new Four Swords game would be pretty solid. None of that Triforce Heroes, whatever. Super Mario Sunshine 2. Sunshine is one of the only 3 Marios that never got any kind of follow-up, and I still think there's a ton to do with the Blood Pack. Plus, I kind of want a Sunshine sequel more so than a Mario Galaxy 3. I'd be pretty stoked for a Galaxy 3, but I'm pretty okay with stopping at 2. Sunshine has so many things that I think could be tweaked and expanded upon.
So, I guess this is just what I do now. Might as well start these videos going, hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, we're back. We are very near the end of Security Breach. I can just feel it. And just in time for everyone else on YouTube to have already finished the game, 4 months ago. Well, let's play FNAF. But first, I gotta say, if you enjoy these FNAF videos, be sure to hit
Archie,
the big red
Archie.
subscribe button right below this video and ring the little gray bell next to it. That'll make sure you get notified every time I post a new video, so you won't miss the next FNAF thing that I do, whatever it
I'll
is.
bring it to you.
And I don't normally do this, but if you want to stay even more up to date as to when new videos might be coming out, you can also follow my Twitter. It's just @ButOfAFerret, pretty much what you'd expect. So yeah, back to FNAF. So last time in Security Breach, I helped Freddy get to parts and service for repairs, spent an hour trying to get past these stupid endoskeleton bots, called the security guard Vanessa a loser, played laser tag, and mercilessly killed one of Freddy's friends, Chica, so that I could stuff her voice box down Freddy's throat. Yeah, I called that video Showing No Mercy in Security Breach for a reason. But it's only about to get more intense, because the goal of the game is
Alright,
still
me
to
to
hunt
the
down
yellow
and
axe.
decommission the rest of the animatronics. And with Chica's face thoroughly smashed in, that just leaves Roxanne Wolf and Montgomery Gator. I don't have the party pass to access Monty Golf, but I do have the security access to get into Roxy Raceway while it's closed for repairs. I guess Monty will just have to wait. So I hop up into Freddy's chest, head over to the raceway, and wow, under repairs is right. This place is a mess. And after looking around for a while, I couldn't actually find much to do here. But then I find this go-kart off to the side, and Freddy's like,
I'm sorry, but you're not tall enough to ride this go-kart alone. You'll need a working driver assist bot.
oh, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Okay. Apparently I have to ride this go-kart. But unfortunately, I am a teeny tiny little crumb of a man. So I can't ride it without a chaperone, and this one's, a bit broken. It's missing its head, and you kind of need those to drive, even if you're a robot. So I scour the raceway for a while, and I cannot believe that got me. I really should be better than that by now. So yeah, this box jump scared a head onto the floor. But Freddy's like,
Uh-oh, this head don't work. We should head over to the West Arcade to fix it up.
yeah, alright. Kinda random. So, even though we just got here, Freddy and I leave the raceway and hop over to the entrance to the West Arcade, only for Freddy to eject me from his chest and send me off on my own. He's like,
I'm sorry, I can't come with you this time. There's this DJ in the arcade, Breakout, you'll love him. And if I step foot on his dance floor, I just can't help but move.
dude, you can just say there's a boss fight in here. It's fine. One elevator trip later, and... okay, come on. How big is this pizza
Around
box
here.
supposed to be? Like, I was just on the 3rd floor of the already massive pizzaplex, took an elevator up...
Wait, you've
and
gone
wound
in?
up
Oh,
here,
alright
in
then.
an arcade the
Let
size
me
of a
just head in
freaking
myself.
Gothic church that also has 3 floors. I swear to God, the pizzaplex must be visible from space. It's huge. someone who understands how to numbers more than me needs to try and figure out how big this place actually is. So yeah, room's big, but beyond that, I got 3 paths in front of me. Dead ahead just has some security bots. Looks like Monty's patrolling to the left, and over to the right is... I
Hello,
take it that's the DJ, and I take it I'm gonna have to deal with them eventually. So I'm just gonna treasure the time before that happens. Eventually, I find this maintenance area with the robot head repair machine, I guess, and like clockwork, the entire arcade loses power and everything goes on lockdown. You get one in every episode. So, in order to get the power going again, I have to run around the arcade and flip 3 breaker switches. But hey, I already spotted one here in the back room and one in a bathroom on the first floor, so this should be pretty easy. But, of course, I have to start with the switch right next to the comically large Music Man animatronic. I think we know what's about to happen. I flip the switch, and yeah.
Hang on, let me...
So with Music Man loose, I sprint to the arcade to try and get to the next breaker switch. First stop's the one I found in the back.
Difficult. Wait, no. Can I have it easy?
That's where Music Man
Oh wait, I
went.
don't get cash from that, so...
God. This is legitimately the most terrifying thing the game has thrown at me so far. Jesus. So, with the danger of the situation clearly established, I run very much away from the Music Man robot and quickly hide in a nearby...
Players.
Yeah, this thing. Okay, I think the coast is clear. I can hop out now.
There's a way.
I said I can hop out now. Hop out now? Oh god. Oh no. I'm caught in the loop! Okay, yeah, I'll say it. This is very funny. What's less funny was after about 5 minutes of spinning around, glitching in and out of the same hiding spot, I was forced to quit the
No, wait,
game
don't. Alright.
and reload.
I've invited you,
That's always what
Archie.
you want in a game with no autosave. So, take 2. Lights go out, flip the switch by Mr. Worldwide, flush the toilet in the bathroom, poop pants, bolt all the way back to the switch.
No, it'll come up on,
and
I think it might come up on Contacts, either Contacts or
why didn't it flip the
PlayStation.
switch? Am I doing something
So-
wrong? Is this another bug? Yeah, okay.
Alright, then.
I guess I'll just go look for another switch and... This kind of cycle continued for a good hour before I finally found the right switches and saw Monty doing that. And finally, the game is like, okay, now you got.
Okay, so it's just invited a bunch of random people.
Okay, so I
I
was
don't know
supposed
why.
to go
So,
here, just not until the game told me to. All right, yeah, sure. Cool.
Yeah, hang
I
on.
switched the last breaker on, only for the giant Music Man to emerge from the
My
very
friends,
obvious
friends
hole in the
playing
wall in front of
GTA.
me. But at this point,
Alright, I've sent you an
after it
invite.
checks out, I've been trying to get past this part for an hour. I was way more afraid of having to do
It
all
should
this
pop up in your,
again than I was of any
some-
of the stuff
I
I was
don't know
actually
what it's called.
supposed to be scared of.
It's like an
So,
orange
one
thing
final
on
chase
your
sequence goes
phone.
down, I get back to the maintenance room, and everything just goes back to normal. Hooray! Now I can... Wait, what was I doing? No, for real, I kind of forgot what all this was for. Oh, right. I spent an hour searching for breakers, dealing with glitches, and watching a gator fly so that I can get the power back on in the West Arcade and fix up this robot head so that I can take that back to the raceway and fix up the go-kart, allowing me to ride it, even though the game hasn't really told me why I want to ride it in the first place, all of which is supposed to somehow kill Roxanne Wolf. So after
Is
all
that-
of this, I placed the repaired head on the driver bot, and the game
friends from
immediately jumps to a
friends.
cutscene of me just already on the racetrack.
It says I've
This
invited
obviously gets
you,
Roxy's
so...
attention. She jumps down onto the track.
It says I've invited you.
Whoa! Okay, I just tuck and rolled out of a moving vehicle and let that go-kart absolutely wreck Roxanne Wolf. The cart slams directly into her face. We even get to see it in super slow-mo. That's brutal, man. And then I decide to kick Roxy while she's down by gouging out her eyes. I know I like to joke that I'm on a merciless robot-killing rampage.
There is a way to quit it. You can play Fortnite. It's circle and then thing, depending on your menu. Oh, I think you have to restart the application. I actually don't know.
This game, but this is actually way wilder than I was expecting. So, just like last time with Chica, in all this chaos, I've now fallen down into the bowels of the Pizzaplex and have to work my way back up. All while running away from Roxy, because this game still doesn't know what decommission means. Roxy can't see, you know, because of the gouging, but she can still hear me and will lunge at me super quick. And honestly, this might be the best part of the game so far when it comes to horror. Like, there are parts of the game that have been kind of startling or spooky, but to me, horror is a very specific feeling of being, like, shaken up, you know, kind of disturbed. And as I'm trapped under the Pizzaplex as a broken Roxanne wolf viciously attacks me while crying, like sobbing uncontrollably and talking about how she's not good enough, yeah. This part was kind of freaky, but the effect was kind of ruined once I got to this furnace room and suddenly just couldn't walk right. Like, I just kept stopping for no reason. So I looked it up and,
Don't care.
Like, there's supposed to be walls of fire here.
One sec, Arch, I just gotta do something. He's gone.
Ah. Reese.
Oh, there goes Archie.